Probably my favorite movies from Ridley Scott is probably Alien and Prometheus. I really like those. Yeah. The Counselor. Ridley Scott. Yes. I know I should be talking about the movie right now, but I have to start with Ridley Scott. He's a very talented director. He's probably my top 5 at least, or 4 or 5. Number 1, Steven Spielberg, but Ridley Scott is a very good director. He's made a couple bad ones, but I just want to go and say this before I get started into this movie. He's a great director, and if you don't know who he is, watch Alien and Prometheus. Those are probably his best. And that Harrison Ford movie, the Lone something, Runner, something like that. I forget the title, but it's a good movie. I know it's a good movie. But let's get started with The Counselor. Okay, this movie stars Michael Fassbender, Penelope Cruz, Cameron Diaz. I can't say his name, but I know him from No Country for Old Men and Skyfall. Him, and then Brad Pitt. Okay, the main story in this movie, I'm going to do 2 point of views. 1 point of view, reading the Fandango description. A lawyer is getting dealt with like drug and business, and he must solve and everything. Description. You're thinking, oh, sounds pretty cool and everything. When you go watch it, this movie is so confusing. This movie is confusing. Like, reading the description is so easy, but in the movie, the story is terrible. It is so confusing in this movie. It's like, here's there, and there's piece, and there's piece, and you put it together and you get The Counselor. Mostly in these type of movies, I feel like a movie should start off like normal people. Something happens, they have to set up the mission and do all this kind of stuff, and then get into the Counselor. Gets rid of the setup of the whole thing and just gets right into the deal. They call him a counselor because he's this lawyer dude, Michael Fassbender. He's the counselor, and he's in this drugging business. I don't understand what's going on. And that's not the only problem. This movie is boring. Throughout this movie, well, the setup, the first like 40 minutes of this movie is about sex and talking. Because Cameron Diaz has sex with a car in this movie. I'm not gonna lie, she has sex with a car. And I sat next to my mom, and you know how weird that was. Do you know how weird it was? The first scene in this movie is sex. First scene. Opened. Before I even show like the title and the people in it. That's the first scene. I mean, I'm a boy. I can understand the sex scenes. I'm not a bother. But when they keep talking about every sentence and I keep showing, it's like, we get it. Cameron Diaz, that's like, the first half of shit, every sentence was like, sex, sex, sex. I was like, I get it. But the whole movie, like the first half of this movie is just boring. And I told my mom, can we go just see another movie or something? Can we go see Machete Kills or something? I'd rather watch that crap than this crap. She was like, no, that's stupid. I paid money for this. We're watching it. Okay, and then she told me, it's gonna get better. It'll get better. I won't lie. The second half of this movie does get a little better with an action scene. And I was like, okay. And then the climax happens, moving on. I'm like, getting a little bit interested. I'm starting to know what's happening. Ending. The ending of this movie. Off. Like, something happened, another scene happened, off. I'm like, when the action scene started to happen, it was starting to grow a little bit. I was like, okay, it's getting a little bit better, but still boring and kind of interesting. It's just, and then the ending, it just ends. It leaves questions. I'm not gonna spoil it, but oh my gosh, it literally just ends. And I could feel, I was sitting there and I heard the music was coming, and I was like, it's gonna end, how much of it ends? I'm like, I knew it. This movie is just completely bad. The story is bad. It's so boring. It's all mixed up together. It does not work. The only good thing about this, actually two things. One, the cinematography is not bad. I like it. But the action scenes in the movie, when it does have action, are kind of cool. I won't lie, they're kind of cool. And the acting is really good. I will not lie, Michael Fassbender did a really good job, and Brad Pitt did a really good job while he was in it. Penelope Cruz, she was barely in it, I'm not gonna lie, she was barely in it, so I really don't count her as a good part. She really was barely in it, this movie. No Country dude, he did a really good job. Seeing him as No Country and then doing this in Skyfall, it's just like, you're a good actor, you can change the roles. But Cameron Diaz, she did good, I won't lie. I don't like her in other movies, I really don't. But this movie, she did it. I was like, that's really good. He had sex with a car. Anyways, this movie, The Counselor, I really had high hopes for this movie. It fell really short with a 0.5. The only reason I'm giving it at least something is the acting and the action that you do get like once every 20 minutes. But this movie is just boring, confusing, not really good. Ridley Scott did this is probably his worst one to me. I really had high hopes, but I didn't get what I wanted. It happens, I understand. I'm disappointed, I really am. Anyways, comment, subscribe guys, hope you guys enjoyed this review. Check out my other videos. See you guys later guys.